Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Em and my books are everywhere. Today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag, and this is a tag that I actually prepped a couple of months ago but hadn't gotten around to filming, so I'm doing that now. I have actually been taking a step back in November. I did a video called Slow-vember, and I'll link that one down below, and kind of talking about how I had been very caught up in reading for challenges and not so much mood reading, which I like to do, or even like savoring the books that I was reading, to the point where there was a book that I had forgotten that I had read and I put it in my I haven't read this book pile, and then realized I had read it and I just didn't remember reading it. But anyway, so because I have been taking a step back, I haven't been filming as many videos, but I feel rested now. I do have like seasonal allergies and stuff, so I'm a little congested right now. But other than that, I feel pretty good and I'm ready to start filming videos again. And this is what I'm starting with, the end of the year book tag with my answers. And again, I had planned these books a couple of months ago, so when I get to one of the questions, I'll explain a little bit more about why that's important. So, question number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? This book here, Jane Eyre, I've been trying to read it all year and I just haven't been making very much progress in it. I'm about a third of the way in now, and I'm hoping to still, we're towards the end of November now, but I'm still hoping to finish this before the end of the year. And Jane Eyre is by Charlotte Bronte, and it tells the story of Jane, who is an orphan, and it starts when she's a child and goes all the way up to when she's an adult, and she finds employment in the house of Mr. Rochester, and then romance ensues. So this one, it's a classic, and I've read it before. I didn't like it the first time I read it, so I thought I would try it again. And I won't say that I didn't like it in that it's badly written. I just was very upset with how Jane's life was progressing, and that's what I didn't like. So, but it is very well written. I know that this is a lot of people's favorite book. I'd like to have an appreciation for it more than I have now. Question number 2. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So this is the book that I chose to transition into fall before we go into all of the Christmas and winter stuff. This is Autumn Chills by Agatha Christie, and it is a short story collection plus a novella. Agatha Christie, you may know, is my favorite author of all time. I have read pretty much everything that I could get my hands on, definitely all of her novels, and pretty much all the short stories that are easily found in print, and her plays as well. So this one I picked because of, look at this. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous book. And I have talked about this in another video. I'll link that one below. I did read one of these short stories for one of the readathons that I was participating in. I read Murder in the Muse, but I still have, I think there's 12 other stories in here. 11 other stories in here. So yeah, this is my transition book for the fall. So I have a few more stories to read in this one, and then that'll set me up nicely to start winter. Question number 3, is there a new release you are still waiting for? So this is the question that I had more to say on. So when I first prepped this tag, I had put on here We Three Queens by Rhys Bowen. Well, that book already came out. I still haven't read it yet though, so I'm still counting it for this question because I am still waiting to read it, although it is out now. And this is the latest book in the Royal Spiness series that features Lady Georgiana, and I haven't really read the blurb on it. I just like that series, so I'm not concerned that it's not something that I want to read. But it's a cozy mystery series, and I love cozy mysteries. I especially love this one. It's a little different than a lot of the traditional cozies that we have. This one does take place in England, and it's more historical. It takes place in the 1930s. So, yep, that's one that I'm getting ready to read. I will probably have that. I have it as an audiobook, so I will probably have that as my commuting audiobook until it's done. Question number 4, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So I had been participating in the Mist-along that Tiffany at Beautiful Minutia was hosting, and I'll link her video down below. And I did finish Shadows of Self, this Bands of Mourning. The discussion was at the beginning of November, and I didn't get this finished. I think I was only about a fifth of the way in when that discussion happened. So I want to finish reading this one, and I definitely am not going to get to the Lost Metal before the December discussion, and I probably am not going to get to it in December. So I think this will be the last book that I read from the Mistborn series this year, and then I will pick up the Lost Metal next year to finish off that series. Another book that I want to read this year is Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder. This was a series that I wanted to read this year, and I just still haven't even started this one. I did read these before. These are the copies that I got, I want to say 20 years ago. And I had read a couple of the books in the series when I was little, but I wanted the whole series a couple of decades ago to read, and I did, but I want to do a reread, and I thought this one would be an especially good one to read at this time of year, so this is one that I want to finish before the end of the year. And then the third book that I want to read, and this is another one, I got this maybe in, well, whenever it was released, whatever month that was, and I wanted to read it that month. But again, I was participating in so many readathons that this, I just couldn't fit it in. And I read a lot of books, but even so, I was reading so much to fill prompts that I wasn't just able to pick this one up and read. So I definitely want to read this one before the end of the year, and this is Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. And this book was inspired by Beauty and the Beast, and I've heard so many people that have really liked this book, and they may not have raved about it, and some of them have raved about it, but enough people have liked it that I am sure I'm going to enjoy it. And again, because it is that kind of Beauty and the Beast inspired, that to me is always like a fall and winter, colder month story. And I'm not sure when this one takes place, but I feel like it would be a fun one also to read, and I definitely want to get to it before the end of the year. Question number 5, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I'm gonna say probably, like, I think I already have a favorite book of the year, but We Three Queens, because I love that series, depending on what Rhys Bowen has done with it, that might be my favorite book of the year. And if it does become my favorite book of the year, that would be shocking to me, because the book that I have picked right now, which I'll talk about in a future video, was just so good that I love the Royal Spiness series, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it, but I just don't know if it could knock the other book off as my favorite book of the year. And finally, question number 6, have you started making reading plans for next year? So I haven't made specific reading plans. I am trying to take a different approach to my reading next year. So this year I did participate in the 52 Book Club 2024 Reading Challenge. and this is the journal that they created for that. And this just really inspired me to get reading done this year. And I have read more this year than I have in several of the last years. And I've also been keeping track of my reading by the month like I haven't done ever before in my life. So I really enjoyed that. And then finding books to fit the prompts and documenting all of that has been super fun too. But it's also been kind of a chore. And so I decided that I am going to take a look at the prompts for next year's challenge. There are 52 prompts again, but for this year, what I did was I took the first prompt that's listed and I read that in the first week of the year. So these are all the prompts here. And I was just taking them for each new week. I would do the next prompt. So I was doing them in order. And that did, by the time I got over here, it was getting to be more of a chore to find a book to fit that prompt for that week and to get it read within that week. So I'm not going to do it that way next year. And I'm not buying their journal next year, but I am going to be doing their prompts. But instead what I'm going to do is, as I read a book, I'm going to look through the prompts to see if it can check off one of the prompts that they have listed. And then maybe by the end of the year, there will be some prompts that I haven't read, and I would probably take a look at it maybe around October to see how many prompts I have left that are unfulfilled, and see if I could find books that I want to read that would fit those prompts. So that's one change that I'm making for next year. And then I did say that I'm not getting the 52 book club journal for 2025 because I got a new reading journal, which I just love this style. And this is the All Booked Up, a book lover's journal. And this company, and I'm not sponsored by them at all, called shopwrongwrong.com. But yeah, so this is so pretty. And it's like this type of binding where I could add pages and move pages around and stuff. And it has pages like a reading tracker. It has pages for, and a couple of different styles of reading tracker, which is really fun. It has pages for reading logs, and it has pages for book challenges, a list of books to read, and it has a space to document favorites. It has a ton of pages for book reviews. So I'm hoping that next year, one of the things that I do is be more mindful of writing up my reviews for the books that I read, especially newer books that are coming out. And also, I would like to start, I have a Goodreads account for M's Books Are Everywhere, and I'll link that down below. But I don't have all the books that I've ever read in my whole life on there. But I want to update that Goodreads account with all the books that I've read since I started Booktube and have talked about on my channel. So all of those I hope to have at least a star rating, if not a full review on there. So I'll be working on that next year too, to do all the current books, but then also to go back and fill in the books from this year, from 2024. So I think all these book review pages will help me with that. And then finally, there's like just these nice blank pages. And I don't have it yet. It's still coming, but I had ordered, they have some pet tapes that like match this to add more imagery and stuff in the reading journal. So that will be coming to me soon, and I'll have that for next year. So that's basically my reading plans for next year. And that's the end of this tag, the end of the year book tag. I will try to tag the videos of the ones that I've already watched of people that have done this tag in the description box. If you have done this tag and I don't have you tagged on there, leave me a comment so I can add you onto that list. If you haven't done that book tag, or if you don't have a channel and you want to put in the comments, what would your answers be? Pick one question or do all of them. I'd love to know what your answers are for this book tag. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.